Now let's do the dividend discount model in Excel. So I want to format things first. Here are all my inputs. I want those inputs to be in bold and some type of color like blue. So Control B puts them into bold. And if I want them to be in blue, I can pick some color of blue, and there we have it. The dividend is going to be in dollar. I'm going to use the comma, not the one with the dollar sign. Cost of equity is going to be in percent. It's better to do this now than wait till later. It's just going to be more efficient. And then my initial and terminal growth are going to be percentages. So my current dividend is $2. My cost of equity, let's say 12%. Years of terminal growth, let's say it's 5. Initial growth rate, let's say it's 20. And terminal growth, let's say is 5%. My model choice, I want to use a drop-down menu here. So I go to Data, Data Validation, and I want to go to List. And rather than actually going to a list, I can say C, NC. If I do that, I want an input message. Probably it's going to explain what C means for constant, NC for non-constant, and give some times when you'd want to do that. So we see there it works. And we'll go for 15 years. And as you remember in the theory video, as long as you go past the years to terminal growth, you're okay. And I don't think it's ever going to be up to or past, I should say, and it's never going to be more than 15. So just use the autofill. So if you do 1, 2, you just drag this over. Excel knows you want to count by ones. Go to 15. And now we need to do the dividend. And I want to do step by step here. So the tricky part about the dividend is getting the appropriate growth rate. So let's not worry about constant or non-constant growth model. We'll just say it's just non-constant. Alright, so if we're just doing the non-constant, I'll say equal if tab. As soon as you type equal in the I, if comes up, so tab, and there you have it. So what's the decision rule? Think about the decision rule that you make in your own brain and make Excel do the same thing. So if this year 1, is less than or equal to the years of terminal growth, lock that down because that's never going to change. If that's true, then use the initial growth rate, lock that down. If it's not true, the terminal, and lock that down too. Now technically you only have to have the C, the column with the dollar sign in front of the column, because you're just locking the column because we're not copying down a row, but it's faster just to lock them both if you press F4. Now I need a parenthesis, but I'm not going to type a parenthesis because I just press enter. Excel guesses what I need, and let me copy that over. And do I feel that this is correct? Well, after 5 years it goes from 20 to 5. That's what I want it to do. Let's change that to 4. And you can test this as much as you want by changing the numbers till you feel comfortable that you have that formula in there correctly. Now to get the dividend, now that we have the right growth rate, we can get the dividend. The dividend at year 1 is the dividend today times 1 plus the growth rate. And this if statement, Excel just sees that as 0.2. Nothing more, just sees it as 0.2. And now that's going to be 2.4. I can't just copy this over. I'm going to copy it and show you why it doesn't work. If I copy that, double click here, I'm dragging this current dividend reference is dragging over, and it's giving me bad numbers. So part of the art to this is just comes from doing this a lot, is knowing when you can copy and when you have to do the formula again. So at year 2, the dividend at year 2 is equal to the dividend at year 1 times 1 plus, remember that order of operations, 1 plus G. You don't need to lock that down because I don't want it to lock down. Copy that across. And now do I feel those numbers are right? Well, if I double click right here, just pick some random spot. Yes, the dividend year before, it's referencing that year, it's referencing all the right things. That makes sense to me. Now I need to do the terminal value. The terminal value is a value at year 15 when this thing is going to be sold. There's only one terminal value at the end, and so we're terminal. So that's going to be the dividend in year 16, which is the dividend in year 15 times 1 plus G. It's always that terminal growth rate. And note I just have that one set of parentheses. Order of operations is very important. You have to remember those. Divided by K minus G. And enter. So I need to have the present value. So the value of the asset is the present value of the expected future cash flow. So the present value is the future value divided by 1 plus K, and K never changes, so lock that down. Raised to the power for the year. Don't type in a 1, 2, 3 or whatever. Just reference the year that you already have. Copy over. Great. In this last year we have one problem. We need to have the present value of two things, the dividend and the terminal growth. Make sure you have the parentheses right here, because order of operations again. So there we have it. And to get the price of the stock is equal to the sum of the present value, so alt equal. Excel's going to guess to sum it up, and it guesses wrong, but this is still the fastest way to do it. You can just use the arrow keys and arrow around to where you want to start summing, which is right here. Then period, that locks it down. Excel knows I'm going to start this cell, I'm going to sum up a bunch of other stuff. Control over, enter, that's the price. And then you want to have this, I already have it in bold. You want to have Control B, puts it in bold. Maybe you want to have some color to go with that. I don't know exactly how you want to make it stand out. Maybe you want to just have a border around it so someone will look at this and they'll know this is the bottom line. This is what I'm looking for. And color is important. Don't use too much. Colors should draw your eye. If you use too much, your eye is drawn everywhere. You use too little, you're not using color for any reason, right? So it's always a little bit of attention. Alright, so I'm going to stop right here. We've just done the non-constant growth formula. We have not used the constant growth model yet. We'll do that in another video.